Well, one of the things I'm trying to do is to encourage everyone, not just Muslims, but Muslims included, to do a better job at that. The part of the problem is that secular rationalists they don't subscribe to truth in that sense, and they certainly don't preach truth in that way. But I advocate that if there is one thing that we can be certain about, us who believe in kind of rational skepticism, if there's one thing we can be certain about, and that is that there is no such thing as truth when it comes to political debates, and so we can assert that, and we can re-emphasize that, and we should actually preach that, and that's my view. I think that actually if more and more people subscribe to the view that there isn't a 100% definitive answer to the way we organize ourselves in society, the more tolerance we can breed. I come down to 4 factors. When we talk about the roots of radicalization, I talk about grievances, whether real or perceived. I talk about identity crises. I talk about charismatic recruiters in the sense of belonging they provide to aggrieved, angry people who have an identity crisis. And I talk about ideology. And ideology in this instance would be the politicization of Islam. I call that Islamism, as distinct from the religion of Islam. Islamism is a desire to impose any version of Islam over society. And so in this instance, we're talking about Islamism as an ideology rather than Islam the religion. But those 4 factors, grievances, identity crises, charismatic recruiters, and ideology, all play a role in radicalization. I think it's sad and in fact inaccurate that we are politically driven sometimes to focus on only one or the other. Those who are on the left wing typically focus on grievances. Those on the right typically focus not just on ideology, but actually misdiagnose it as the religion of Islam itself, which is part of the conversation we're here to have at Harvard. But I think a fair and accurate approach would be to say that human beings are not like water. We don't all boil at 100 degrees Celsius and we don't all freeze at 0. We are social animals. We react to challenges and to situations in different ways, and so it's important to look at a mixture of factors and a mixture of causes and how they interact with each individual. The future of politics. Well, currently I'm incredibly worried with the rise of populism in politics, and I see that here with certain figures such as Donald Trump, but also in the United Kingdom. On the opposite end of the political spectrum, on the left wing, there is a rise of populism in the form of the newly elected leader of the main opposition party, the Labour Party, a far-left socialist in the form of Jeremy Corbyn. And I think populism across Europe, whether it's in the form of far-right extremism or Islamist extremism, is on the rise. And populism, what it panders to is identity politics. It panders to groupthink. It panders to cheap slogans and plays on the grievance narrative. So where Trump here may be playing on the grievance narrative against, say, Mexicans, whereas people in far-right movements across Europe are playing on the grievance narrative against Muslim immigrants. Islamists are playing on the grievance narrative that there's some form of war going on against Islam and Muslims, which in fact isn't not true. So I think that's what populism does. I'm incredibly worried about it because it divides people. And I think if we are to if politics is to have a future, it must have, because actually politics is life. The mere fact we're alive means we're going to have to engage with each other and organise ourselves in society. So politics will have a future, but I hope that the future, the sort of future that I want is more of a liberal future that focuses on civil liberties and recognises individuals for who they are, and moves away from some of this groupthink and identity politics that I'm incredibly worried about.